press conference. So I start to record. Okay, thank you very much for being here to OMNIUM GATHERUM. First, I would like to tell us the name of each one and their role in the band, and then tell us what we can expect from this tour in Mexico and how was your experience being in our country.
Yes. Okay, so I'm Jukka from OG. I'm the lead singer, and well, what you guys can expect? Well, a lot of headbanging and beautiful melodic death metal played by OG, of course. So we like to be active on stage, so we are expecting that the audience who will attend will also share the fun and let themselves go and start to headbang with us. That is the basic plot here, I think.
Yeah. Here's Markus and
I'm Nick.
We are the guitars, cheesy guitarists of OG and guitars, guitar animals or guitar gorillas. And we are really looking forward to come to your beautiful country. We've only once played before in Mexico, and it was already, I think, 2017. We played Mexico City in a really cool Circo Volador venue, and the show was amazing. And fans were really amazing, and we loved. We visited the great pyramid Teotihuacan on a day off in Mexico.
So good memories, and we are expecting, of course, a lot of good memories for years to come. This mini tour.
Yeah, it's really nice to play these other cities, 5 cities. I guess it was my Mexican language is really bad, so Guadalajara, Monterrey, León,
Aguascalientes.
Yeah.
Yes, and Monterrey.
I've noticed the Mexican fans are really passionate and like, in a good way, really crazy people, and that's what we love as shy, humble Finns and US. So yes, we will expect crazy happenings on the audience. We will do our best to get your audience wild.
We'll bring the metal with beautiful smiling faces. It'll be
a lot of tequilas and tacos.
Of course, you will have it.
And some quality Mexican cerveza, of course.
Yeah. Modelo Day is coming.
Okay, yes, of course, a lot of modelos. Okay, so what you know about all those cities of these Mexican cities?
Well, not so much.
Well, I visited most of those cities before when I was there with my other band, Insomnium. So the cities are, at least being there, except León is a completely new place for me. And
okay. But I've seen Mexico City and I've seen Monterrey, and the rest will be new. So I'm really happy.
Yeah, I'm only been to Mexico City, and I'm really excited to visit those other cities also. Yeah.
Oh, and what other countries are gonna stay you in this tour?
We're gonna do Costa Rica, Colombia. And then we're gonna do one international seas, so 70,000 tons of metal, the metal cruise on this mini tour.
2 weeks in the sun, in the middle of Finnish winter, so we are really looking forward to this escape from Finland.
Yeah, it is a nice change of atmosphere and perspective, because today marks the first day when in Finland, in Lapland, the sun came out for the first time in 2 months. Yeah, it's usually in the northern parts that there is this period of time that the sun doesn't rise above, so it's dark all the time.
That's why we Finns are what we are. That have to explain something. But of course, in the summertime, the sun don't set, so it's completely different. Then in summer we don't sleep, and in wintertime we only sleep.
Yeah.
Like bear.
Exactly.
Bueno, pues a grandes rasgos la gira la banda está muy emocionada por visitar lugares con sol, Costa Rica, Colombia, México, porque dicen que Finlandia está oscuro todo el tiempo, ¿no? Y que como que andan medios deprimidones por eso, pero lo mejor que quieren es salir para justamente les dé todos estos países con sol. Pero bueno, vamos a empezar entonces con las preguntas y respuestas. We're going to commence with the answers to the press for you. Lo que le voy a pedir es que alcen la mano, por favor, para participar, que hagan sus preguntas. Vamos a tomar 2 o 3 medios para que hagan de golpe sus preguntas en bloque, y luego nuestro traductor las traduzca para ellos, por favor. Entonces, si gustan ir alzando las manos. Ok, Fernanda García Ruiz, ¿puedes prender tu cámara?
Hola, hola.
Bien.
Hola, hola.
Puedes hacer en inglés o en español, como gustes. Y
Ok.
sale adelante.
Vale, gracias. Este año ustedes lanzaron pues su último EP Origin y pues recientemente pues también los últimos álbums que sacaron, que fue el World Shadows, si no me recuerdo. Quería preguntarles si ustedes ya están trabajando en material nuevo para lanzar este año, si lo han pensado o ahorita van a seguir con este último EP de Slasher.
Andrés, ¿puedes traducir?
This year you throw your last album, The World of Shadow, if I remember, and I'm wondering if you have new material for this season.
For the new album.
Mhm.
Well, we are working on it slowly but steadily.
You say New World Shadows album. Where you're speaking about? That's already really old album. 12 or 13 years old album. But yeah, our previous album was called Origin, and we also released a Slasher EP after that. And now we are pretty much this Latin American tour, and then we are doing like a US tour still this spring, and after that we really are concentrating on the next album and having a bit of pause for writing and coming up with the best possible new album some day, some week, some year, but hopefully soon. The plan is we have to take the time we need, and we'll see where it goes, but it will go.
Yeah, the road is for the new album, the road is just beginning, but I think we're gonna get there and release some quality stuff for you guys.
Esperemos que este año salgamos nuevas cosas, para sacar nuevas cosas con calidad, y vamos a sacarlas tranquilos y calmados, pero vienen nuevas cosas en camino.
A que la pinche cena no esté corriendo.
Espérense, ok. Sigue Carlos Manríquez de la cartelera, por favor. Sí. Prende tu micrófono, por favor, Carlos. Carlos, prende tu micrófono, por favor, lo tienes apagado. Hola, Carlos.
¿Ya se escucha?
Ya.
Vale, muchas gracias, que nada, a la banda. Mi primera pregunta sería en todo proceso creativo siempre hay una canción que cuesta un poquito más de trabajo. De su nuevo álbum, bueno, el álbum más reciente, que es el Origin del 2021, ¿qué canción les significó un reto o cuál es la canción que más trabajo les cuesta en el escenario? Y segunda, si tienen alguna sorpresa preparada para el público mexicano en sus presentaciones.
Well, first of all, thank you for being here with us. My first question is that in your process, on the origin, the album, the last album that you made it, what is the art that you made in here, or the song that cost you a little bit more, or was a little bit more hard to write or play? What was a challenge for you? That's the first question. And the second one, is, you got any surprise for the Mexican fans here? Have you thought on something?
What was the first question? It's
If
I
it
can
was,
hear you.
yeah, yeah, sure. Let me repeat it. If in your creative process of your first album, what was the most challenging song on it?
On the first album.
Yeah,
From the latest.
and
Origin.
the latest one. Yeah, yeah, last one, the origin one.
If we count as the latest album, if you are speaking, for example, the latest EP, Slasher, the maybe I wouldn't say challenging song, but maybe the weirdest and funniest song is the cover we did for Maniac, which is the old 80s classic song from the Flashdance movie, and somehow it had an OG vibe, even it's a pop song, and then wanted to show the Omnium Gatherum side of the song, and I think we succeed really well, and it really does sound like our own Omnium Gatherum song. Even the mixing engineer Jens Bukren, who mixed the album, he thought it's our own song, and he made a fool out of himself, and then 3 days later he came back and was laughing like, oh, sorry, I didn't know it's a classic 80s song, but that was some funny song, Omnium Gatherum en Mexico.
I think it really came out super well, that particular song, because it, like Marcus said, it even fooled the mixing engineer. So it is that kind of song that really looks and feels and hears like, sounds like our own song, but it is still a cover.
Pensamos que no fue una canción difícil, pero no significa un reto, pero fue maravillosamente divertido hacer el cover de Maniac, una canción de los 80. Fue una canción pop, pero hacerla a nuestro estilo fue maravilloso. Nos divertimos mucho haciéndolo. Well, that's what great. And the second question is, if you got any surprise for the Mexican fans right there, right here. Have you thought of something?
If we tell you, it won't be a surprise.
Will be a surprise? That's amazing.
The best way to keep a secret is to not tell anyone.
Será una sorpresa.
Makes a secret.
What he says.
Yeah. But it's a good secret.
Secreto. Okay. Perfect.
What is the Pinata that Greg from Alician? It's called
Pinata. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The one that you fill with candies and everything.
Yeah, in last year's US tour, we were playing in El Paso, Texas, and there were, of course, pinatas on sale, and there was a support band, was Allegiant, and Allegiant's guitar, or all the guys, I think, they just bought us pinata, and when we were on stage, they just took Jukka's eyes hidden, and Jukka have to like punch the pinata.
Yeah, I was kind of blindfolded and hitting everywhere, and accidentally almost hitting my dear friends, OG.
But at some point you did the trick and hit the right pinata and not us, and it was full of like tiny little vodka bottles. That was a cool. Even if it happened in Texas, but that was a Mexican trick. So our salute to Allegiant for that.
It is. It is.
Maybe we should do some pinata tricks for the people.
La última vez que estuvieron en Texas hubo una organización con unas piñatas y ellos tuvieron que romperlas, inclusive casi se pegan entre ellos y fue muy divertido. Tal vez podría ser una sorpresa para los fans mexicanos. Porque si gustas comenzar con el siguiente entrevistador.
Claro que sí.
Let's with the next one interviewer.
Comunicación social, sí. Nombre medio y pregunta.
Sí, ¿sí me escuchan?
Sí,
yes.
Te escuchamos.
Soy Ana Encina de Headbangers LA. Y bueno, mi primera pregunta es, esta banda con más de 20 años de trayectoria, ¿cómo podrían definir ellos su esencia? ¿Cómo podrían decir que ha sido su evolución durante estos 25 años? Esa sería una de mis preguntas. La otra sería que después son aproximadamente 8 años, me parece, que no regresaban a México. ¿Qué expectativas tienen de esta nueva presentación tras una larga ausencia en este país? Y sobre todo, ¿cómo conformaron su setlist para estas 5 presentaciones, ya que tienen mucho material que le gusta muchísimo a los fans? Entonces, ¿cómo definieron este setlist?
The first question is that you have more than 20 years of working. So how do you define your essence of being building through those years and your evolution to be the group that you are right now, through those 20 years of work? It's a little hard. Yeah,
That's a tough question, I
it's
have
a
to
tough
say.
one.
A long answer.
Yeah,
Well,
I guess it's been just like a learning process. I was 14 years old when I formed this band as like a school band, so it's been a while and it was a bit different back then. And it's a learning process. It's like you want to do some kind of stuff at some point in your life, and then you pathways to explore that.
Ha sido un proceso de aprendizaje. Yeah.
And we've been having this slow and steady uplifting career. We've never had like any overnight success, but the way have always been up. So it's kind of influencing to see it's always leading to somewhere.
Yeah.
And now we for first 10 years or first 15 years, all the reviews of the albums were always calling us like the newcomers. And after Burning Cold album, I noticed that many magazines were calling us legends. So we never were a normal band. We were newcomers.
Yeah, so there
before
was no kind of like middle age at all. So it from start to finish, just like that. But no, I don't think that there's no like an end goal yet inside, because we have a lot of things that we want to do with this group. I think that dynamics at the moment are really good, and one of the key reasons, in my opinion, for this band to be able to have been existed for so long and to be able to move forward in our career and in our passion for music is that we really like to work, and we really like especially we like to go on tour and play live music. So that is one of the like key points maybe of us being able to carry the inspiration from year to year.
And if you can just say like one word, it's always one word to combine with Omnium Gatherum. It's always been curse and blessing, but it's always been like melodic death metal. But we've always wanted to stretch the lines, stretch the genre called melodic death metal, and still people call us the melodic death metal, and it's still okay. But we always try to reach new points to do that in a different way, and still sound like Omnium Gatherum. And at least I think we've succeeded. Like the band is having a really own kind of sounds. So
yeah,
adult oriented.
Okay, Andrés.
Yeah, let me translate that. So, sí, ha habido un avance significativo, nosotros lo hemos sentido. Pasamos de ser un grupo a un grupo grande en el que nos empezaron a decir leyendas. Creo que uno de los aspectos claves de toda esta evolución ha sido que hemos tocado lo que nos gusta. Nos han llamado del metal melódico, y nos ha gustado, y ha sido justamente nuestro género lo que nos ha colocado donde estamos. Creo que ha sido un tiempo en el que hemos nosotros también cambiado y hecho lo que nos ha gustado. Yeah, perfect. The second question is that has been 8 years and you haven't come back to Mexico, if I remember correctly. How did you set up the set? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, how do you set up the set that you're going to be playing for Mexican fans, thinking on that period of time that you're missing to come to play?
Or you mean set list wise?
Exactly.
Well,
that's a good question also, because we have so many albums to make a set list, and in fact, as we are playing the 70,000 Tons of Metal Cruise, we have to rehearse 2 different sets because we have to play 2 sets in the boat. So basically, we have quite a vast catalog to play the songs now. And for the last weekend, we did shows in Finland, and I think we played songs from Redshift, New World Shadows, Beyond, Grey Heavens, Burning Cold, Originals, Asher. So we have been playing quite a big catalog of songs. So history of OG dissected on stage.
and of course we are willing, like, we made a post like maybe a week ago or something that we are coming. I made a little video out of it, and I see in the comments that people are asking for some particular songs here and there. So maybe we will take that in mind, and maybe some of those songs that appeared as like, can you play those, may appear in the set list also. Let's see what happens.
Please let me translate that. Sí, tenemos un set muy abundante y muy grande. La verdad es que algunas las vamos a tener que ensayar. Hay canciones que no hemos tocado en México y esperamos también que la gente, si hay canciones que le gustan, nos las puedan proponer y nosotros tomaremos esas en cuenta con nuestros fans en México. Perfect. Jorge, you want to continue with the next interview? I can hear you. Jorge, you are on mute.
Where's Jorge?
Estás en mute, Jorge. It seems that he gone.
He had enough.
Technical issues. I believe he's thinking on the wish list for the new songs.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He's...
Jorge, tu micrófono está en mute.
Ya. Sorry about it. Jorge Díaz, por favor.
Okay. Are you listening? Is my audio okay? All right.
Yep.
Jukka, Markus, kiitos, moikka. And Nick, thank you for the interview. So my question is a little bit complicated, So if we take Origins as a starting point, right, which is a Def Leppard-y melodic metal album, right?
Yeah.
And you take the new Slasher EP, which has 2 outtakes from that record, right? So the new song, which is Slasher, it returns to this very dark place, to this very Suomen kind of feeling, right? So can we take Origin as a experiment on OMNIUM Gathering, or is it the new north that you're going to take there? And onto that question, how does the new band member, which is Nick, and from Virginia, a lot of sunnier and happier influencer, let's say musically, maybe. How is the coming of Nick affecting the new, let's say, the new era? Are you coming back to the dark, snowy places, or are you going back to sunny Miami with?
It's going to be sunshine and snow in a perfect balance and really schizoid weather.
Lapland 6 months of darkness, then 6 months of sun.
Maybe that's a good point. Well, Slasher, that was like the first work we did with Nick, and maybe it's the most presented work, or at present work of Omnium Gatherum, and you never know because future is not yet written wholly, so it's a little bit in the dark. If it's gonna be dark or bright, but I think with Origin we maybe I feel we reached some point of like Def Leppard is as OG can go, and there was quite a lot of like clean vocals, and I was quite happy also with Slasher when it came out that it came a little bit back to the roots kind of, and it's a bit more aggressive and more like your trademark melodic death metal. So
this band has always had very diverse sounds. I mean, it's
the
really dark stuff is never totally hopeless, and the more melodic stuff is never without a little bit of melancholy to it. So there's room for all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And how the balance turns out, well, we don't know.
Exactly. It's a combination. We've always tried to have this kind of combination of those two kind of like opposite sides of things, and not like in that sense that we want to just like go down the like peaceful middle road. That is not it in this case. It's taking the best of both worlds maybe, and having to making our own sound out of it. It's always also a feeling kind of thing.
Yeah, it's always been, like you said, like the dual side stereo paradox. Like if Jukka is singing really aggressively, then we have some really cheesy guitar melody behind it, and then if whatever there's some clean vocals on whatever, I don't remember the song names of Origin, but yeah, then there's like a really heavy
They were
guitar.
only one word. It's long.
Maybe that mixes my computer. Friction, I was meaning. Friction is quite heavy guitar riffing, and then there's quite a poppy like Boy Hoyer singing clean, and that's always been kind of like this band's schizophrenic things to do the both sides somehow combined and cherish them both.
Yeah, I think it creates like right kind of a challenge for us as musicians also, because we don't want to take it like, you know, for granted that we have reached this far and just like release something. And so there's a lot of like this and this in the music always. So I think that's one of the reasons why we have chosen this kind of approach to the genre of melodic death metal, I think.
Yeah, already I'm so familiar with the Omnium Gatherum trademarked sound, so that's also the difficultness of making new albums, because I don't want to repeat the old formula too much. So I could pretty much write really fast like one album full of Omnium Gatherum like music, but if it comes too easy and it sounds too easy for me, then it doesn't have any challenge. So you always have to challenge yourself to have some new kind of perspective to do the album, and then that's the pathway to next Omnium album always.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
The easy way is not the sleazy way.
Just let me translate that. Desde que el estilo Def Leppard se fue, hemos tenido un sonido más agresivo, más diverso. Nuestra melodía ha sido un poco melancólica. Y hay lugares para todo. No sé. Hay unas combinaciones que nos han gustado. Siempre ha sido como una polaridad de estos dos modalidades de canciones que generamos. Pero no hay un punto medio pacífico del que nosotros podamos tener, ¿no? Creo que eso es lo paradójico de nuestras canciones y nuestro grupo, que no puedo recordar ahorita el nombre de las canciones, pero que son un poco esquizofrénicos la combinación, ¿no? Y eso para nosotros ha sido un total reto, porque es una combinación entre nuestra cabeza y nuestro corazón. También nos hemos acostumbrado tanto a nuestro estilo que para nosotros a veces es difícil componer nuevas canciones. Perfect. Excellent, guys. I don't know if I got a question right here from Itzel Cisneros. That says that Origins is the 9th album, and how do you describe your progress to the long of your musical career to get where you are right now? That is a more mature and more potent sound and lyrics.
I think we kind of like partly answered that question already, but we can kind of deepen it a little bit. So, my dear colleagues, if you please, Markus and Nick.
Our musical journey from poorness to average. It's such a like an impossible question to answer to your own work, like your musical progression. It is there. Something is happening always, but I'm not a musical critic. It's some people who is more outside these albums can listen to these albums and make the conclusion of the musical progression and evolution. But from nothingness to something.
And it's also kind of thing that it's an ongoing process, of course. It's not nowhere near like ending, because we're not finishing this up, like, but I think like the progress in general is something that if you do not settle for certain kinds of things or certain kinds of like solutions in writing, then the progress is, I think, then it's a positive thing and it doesn't lead you backwards.
And somehow we were quite so-called young when we did the first album, so I could say like the first 3 albums at least were like just trying to find yourself. We were big fans of like Swedish death metal, even we were Finnish band. At the beginning we didn't want to sound like Finnish band, which is weird and stupid in a way, because you have to be true to your roots, but we like Soilwork and At the Gates and Dark Tranquillity and In Flames and this stuff, and we tried to sound a bit like them. I guess we never succeeded. We still sounded different and original.
Yeah,
I could say maybe
disguise.
Yeah, maybe the band really find their own identity in the Redshift album, and that's pretty much our so-called breakthrough album. And with finding our identity in Redshift, then we just followed our instincts, and since that album it's been good road with some original music, I think, which really sounds like Omnium Gatherum and nothing else.
Andrés.
Ya, pues ya contestamos esta pregunta un poco en la anterior. Pediría la ayuda más de mis compañeros, más que nada, pero creo que es para resaltar que este es un camino, el progreso ha sido un poco difícil de medir, porque este es un camino sin terminar, ¿no? Intentamos no regresarnos, ¿no? Éramos muy jóvenes cuando empezamos nuestros primeros álbumes y pues nosotros nos hemos encontrado en este camino. Creo que en Redshift es el álbum donde hemos encontrado más pautas familiares y donde hemos estado más tiempo. Antes éramos estúpidos, pero pues teníamos referencias de otros grupos y otras canciones. Hemos intentado acercarnos a ellas, creo que nunca lo logramos, pero generamos nuestro propio tema con el que hemos estado satisfechos. Perfect. Yeah, if you wanna...
Isaías, por favor.
Sí, igual puedo preguntarlo en inglés.
Go for
it. You have any music influence on your que sí, perdón, en español, que si tienes you have any music influence, like inspiration for making music, and also can you explain the meaning of your name, OMNIUM GATHERUM?
Oh, the band title?
Yes.
I believe the name, right? If you can explain where you come with your name and yeah.
And then the name was found by the original keyboard players father's Latin dictionary, as his father was doctor, and then it sounded cool. I don't know if it's cool, but sad story. I never liked it, but I have had to live with the name with 25 years. I learned to like it, and now I think it's a good name. But at first, I was like, it will be too weird, and it's not the catchiest name. But it really describes well what the band are, because you can translate that to Gathering of the Freaks, or Freak Circus, or Fruit Salad, or like weird gathering.
A really nice game. It sounds really nice. I like the meaning. Like it sounds like something like thing.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty much kind of Mötley Crüe, but in Latin, it's pretty much like the same kind of various gang.
Yep.
And the band have really lived for its name during our long years.
And can you talk about your music influence? Like you like any particular musician or group that got you inspiration for making your?
My question to you before answering: do you have a cat there? Because there was cats.
Yes, you like cats?
Yeah.
Great. We are cat people.
Nice.
Yeah, he likes some metal.
Looks like Abath.
Yeah.
At the mask.
Yeah. Yes, you like black metal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we love Norwegian black metal, especially. That's always been one of the influences, exactly, but you cannot hear it from Omnium Gatherum's music, but it's hidden down there. But it's always really hard to list your influences. Back in the day, we were highly influenced by Swedish death metal and US death metal and Finnish bands like Sentenced, Amorphis, the old stuff, and Iron Maiden have always been a big influence, and it's arrays huge to say influences too big.
And if you take that question like in a little wider perspective, I think like every one good particular song, no matter the genre, if the music is good, then it like touches, and there can be something that is recorded to the subconscious that will emerge in our own music. You never know, but if you think about metal like as a genre, so Markus just said like maybe all the influences or most of the influences this band has.
And great music is always great music, and good song is a good song, and that's what we have always tried to do if we are doing a cover song, like we did with Maniac. It's 80s pop music. Then we covered Subdivisions by Rush, which is like a progressive rock, and then we covered Infected Mushroom, In Front of Me, like electronic band, and kind of like good song is a good song, and you can always find and translate songs to sound your own.
Yeah, and Sepultura, We Who Are Not As Others.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Let me translate a little bit of that answer. Nuestro nombre proviene de los primeros conjuntos de tecladistas en latín. Suena frío, describe nuestra reunión, como somos, ¿no? Somos varios de la banda, es justamente nuestro humor. Y pues nuestras canciones han sido siempre una combinación. Estamos acostumbrados a nuestra música, nos ha gustado. Y pues no es que tenemos varias referencias, nos gustan varios grupos, nos gusta el metal, pero más que eso, hemos tomado canciones de ahí y hecho nuestras nuevas canciones que yo creo que nosotros mismos hemos ido en nuestro proceso. Jorge, if you want to continue con el siguiente.
Fernanda Garcia.
For the musical DNA, it's always still continuing to that. Like as a melodic death metal band, it's always would make things really boring if you would be influenced only melodic death metal bands, and like we've been getting a lot of influence outside the metal field lately, like 80s music. One Beyond album was highly influenced by Journey, Toto, and then trying to make a melodic death metal version out of that, and that's usually how kind of like new music or new genres are born, that you just completely different.
That reminds me back in the day when 2013 Beyond was released, and we had this little competition for our listeners to come up. Can you come up with a genre for Omnium Gatherum? And the one that we chose at that time, like described as best, was epic Toto gore. So that kind of sums it up a bit.
Describido como total gore. Oh, that's what it is. But you have been a very good career, and you have been generating new genres here. So that's what it's about, right? Jorge, if you want to continue.
Fernanda García, por favor.
Sí, gracias. Mi pregunta es, ¿qué esperan en esta ocasión del público mexicano de su gira por Latinoamérica? Porque, pues, como ustedes bien saben, el público latino siempre en las presentaciones tiende a ser muy enérgico, ¿no? Entonces quería saber si ustedes tienen alguna expectativa o esperan que suceda, pues, no sé, algo en sus eventos. ¿Qué esperan en nosotros?
Yeah, as you know, the Mexican people very enthusiastic and excited that you for coming. So I'm wondering if you're expecting to happen something with the fans, the energy that will be gathering on the concerts about us. So yeah, so like a motto, or we making something.
Oh man, every time I've been to Mexico, I've had a really wonderful time. And the thing I'm impressed with every time is the depth of knowledge in Mexican fans. They know what they're hearing. They know the bands, they know the music. It's not a casual crowd. So.
Algo que siempre me ha impresionado de los mexicanos es su gran conocimiento que tienen acerca de las bandas y cómo saben perfectamente lo que escuchan. Son gente que sabe que les gusta. Yeah, perfect.
You can really sense the level of respect for the bands from the fans. Really respect the bands that are coming there and the music, and it's not like your everyday show. Like in some places they have just too much shows and people are just coming like, we have 17 different bands playing this sound every day, and you can really tell like it's not so special for people. But in Mexico you can always sense like it's special. People really respect what they are hearing,
and that also makes us respect you guys. Like it's a thing, it's like it's a synergy thing that is going on. Of course, you know, there are always, when you're doing a show, you are not doing it just for yourself. You are doing it for the whole thing, because otherwise you would be playing alone at home or at the rehearsal place. So there is a real connection there, and that's really important because we are there together for that reason, to enjoy metal music. So that's it basically.
Yeah, it's a circle. More fans are treating us well. More we give it to the fans, and it's like subconscious circle.
Yeah.
Es un círculo. Nosotros nos ha encantado tocar para los mexicanos. Creo que siempre hemos sentido una vibra muy buena. Es un círculo en el que siempre nosotros los respetamos y ellos nos han respetado como el grupo que somos. Y es justamente para la gente que nos gusta el metal. Perfecto. Yeah, that's awesome.
Jorge Díaz, por favor. Jorge Díaz.
Yes. Again, yeah. So, very quick question on the same path as the Mexico tour. Nick and Marcus, you have already come to Mexico quite a few times. And is there something that you want to show the rest of the band, or that you have to go to in Mexico or any of those cities that you really want to do again? And the other question goes back to the previous to last question, which was the influence. Nick, you said that you were a thrasher boy, and Marcus, you have a lot of Van Halen, right? So how does this complement to Omnium Gathering and the lyrics? Like, how do you put the lyrics? Do you put the lyrics first? How do you manage to bring this influence all together? Because I understand, Marcus, you have a black metal band. You have done quite a bit. So how does all this, let's say, mixes of influences and bands and complement the songwriter in, at least in OG?
It's all chaos, and you have to go through chaos with a hunch and instinct. Like, there's really no, at least like a conscious recipe for doing stuff. It's just doing what you feel, and maybe it's gonna be thrash riffs and Van Halen guitars and Jukka's lyrics on the next album. I don't know, but somehow you always feel when it's Omnium Gatherum and when it's right. And then I don't know, sitting in my home studio making riffs on, and then when you get riff that makes your head going like this, then you know, like, this, we have to go on with this song, and now we have a feeling, and then start to build it and somehow. And that's how the ladders go up with the song. But it's always hard and weird, and it kills you inside before it gets you blooming. And creative processes, it's horrible, but it gives you the most in life when you get it ready. But this is a hard profession, really bleeding always for songs, and it's an emotional roller coaster. So at least the songs are not born easy. So
if it's easy, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, at least there's, I can say there's heart and feelings put to these songs always, since the day one.
Yeah, go on, please.
What was your first question about? What would you say about?
Yeah, because
my boys about Mexico that were never there.
You came here a couple years ago with Insomnium. Nick, you have come here with Arcanemy, right? So I'm pretty sure you already understand what you like about Mexico, what you want to do. Is there a place that you want to go? Is there a place that you want to take the rest of your bandmates? It's like, oh, I have to show you this.
Other than a bar.
Well, at least OG boys, most of the boys have been in Mexico, of course. But our drummer, he's a newbie, so I think it's first time for Atte in Mexico. So when I first came to Mexico City, I didn't know it's like, what, 3 kilometers high or really high. So I think I drank like 2 or 3 beers in a plane coming to Mexico. And then when we landed, I was like, I was thinking like, how I'm feeling so weird. Do I have already a hangover for 2 or 3 beers? And before someone told me like, it's because the height, the city is really high. So maybe we don't tell that to others.
I'll have to think about if there's anything I remember that I want to introduce young Atte to.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited for the places I've not seen yet. And there's a lot of that on this run.
Yeah, I love the pyramid. We get the Teotihuacan in, but Jukka, you were there also, or were you? Because
I was the one that chose not to go. So this time, let's say strong maybe.
Strong,
you have to understand, guys, that it is really hard to get me to go anywhere in the world, because like our sound engineer sometimes says, with good-hearted intentions, that I'm here to work. I am not here to watch statues. But of course, it would be nice to see some old ruins or some pyramids and stuff like that. That it's really interesting. It's so different than in Finland, so basically that also is interesting, the whole atmosphere.
I'm a tourist. I always try to visit tourist attractions and other weird stuff which is available. So I love to do that as much as I can. So I guess there would be a lot of cool places to visit in Mexico. I just have to catch them on before coming to cities.
And they have to do a little.
Perfecto. Voy a empezar
A lot of
traduciendo un poco la primera idea de la pregunta, que nuestras referencias musicales podría ser puro Thrasher y Van Halen, lo que ha sido un poco difícil y salvaje componer nuestras canciones. Es como una montaña rusa de emociones, pero nos sentamos un poco, sentimos las líricas, empezamos a mover la cabeza y sabemos que tenemos una rola en la que nosotros nos sentimos contentos con ella, ¿no? Y acerca de la segunda pregunta en México, pues creo que tenemos el nuevo baterista va a llegar, es el que no conoce México, nosotros la mayoría lo conocemos. La última vez que estuvimos fue asombroso como toma 2 cervezas en un avión y yo ya me sentía mareado de que perdió por la altura de la ciudad, que fue asombroso, me sentía todo raro y para algunos es difícil un poco viajar y moverse de donde están, no estamos acostumbrados a muchas cosas, como dice el ingeniero de sonido, tal vez no vamos solamente a viajar a ver estatuas o lugares, pero pues esperamos conocer muy bonitos lugares en México y sabemos que van a ser asombrosos ir a verlos y conocerlos.
Cerveza and margaritas and bailando.
Yeah.
Tequila.
That's the Mexican mood that you want. Excellent. Si quieres continuar con los siguientes interviews, Jorge.
Jenny, por favor, Jenny Ajas.
Hi guys, hi everyone.
Hey.
First of all, thanks for your time and for this interview. I have a quick question. What will be what has been the most difficult situation or the most difficult thing since your last album Origin was released till now? Because it was almost 2 years, and I want to think that was not a pause. You were maybe working on a lot of things. So till 2021 to now, what was the most difficult thing as a band?
Well, there was this tiny thing, which I think other people also know. It was called COVID pandemic in between, and it really made the band work, as all the other people's lives too, really hard, and we couldn't tour. So of course, slowly when the world opened, we started to tour, and now we've been touring quite a lot. And like, because we were 2 years of not traveling and touring, we've been doing that back now when we can. And of course, that's been causing delays with all the like new music composing, and because we are not that kind of band that actually can compose on the road, because at least I need my own isolation and I have to be a lot alone and concentrate 300% into the music that I'm doing. So I really cannot work that on backstage or bus or whatever. So maybe these have been the challenges that kind of like the pandemic messed up the whole timelines and schedules and your normal work routine and how do you act as a band.
Yeah, basically that's it. I think so, because otherwise, since the release of the last album, you know, band has come together like more and more intense group. So in that sense, there's not been like any kind of that kind of issues. So maybe the challenges were coming more from outside than from within the group or the group dynamics. So like Marcus said, it's the whole like getting back to the rhythm, back to the touring rhythm, to the recording rhythm, to the composing rhythm, like a rhythm in a musician's life in general. That is the challenge.
Yeah,
And
let
we
me
kind of
just- yeah,
like
go.
jokefully saying like pandemic before the pandemic, one our previous guy left the band because he got enough of traveling. He didn't want anymore to travel. When then he left the band, we got Nick luckily on board, and then the world closed. So then nobody traveled, and then when nobody traveled, then our drummer kind of like lost some things and he left the band. So the whole pandemic era was like really stormy stuff, but all the storms are setting down at some point, and now we are really in a good place with the band. We have a awesome lineup and awesome like personal chemistry and dynamics in the band, and only good things ahead, I think.
For real.
Awesome. Just let me translate that quickly. ¿Cuál ha sido el reto más difícil en estos 2 años que ha sido una pausa? ¿Cuál ha sido la canción o el reto más difícil que han tenido como grupo? Y pues el reto más difícil ha sido esto llamado COVID. La verdad es que esos son los retos que hemos tenido a componer. No hemos podido juntarnos más de 300 personas en ningún lugar, ¿no? No hemos tenido realmente un reto como grupo, sino ha sido más un reto pues, como personas que hemos tenido aisladas, ¿no? El último álbum nos unió mucho, ¿no? Todos estamos a bordo, y pues sí, siempre han sido un poco el ritmo, ¿no? El ritmo para generar nuevas canciones, el ritmo para trabajar, y creo que el COVID es el único que nos ha afectado realmente. Nosotros nos sentimos fuertes como grupo y creo que nos vienen cosas buenas. Excellent, guys.
Tenemos una pregunta del chat.
Exactly, yeah, I got a question right here in chat, and it says that lastly, sorry, the foreign bands have been interested in make covers from Latin bands. So if you like to make a cover, perhaps from any Latin song or anything like that, have you any in mind?
Latin bands. Shakira.
Or any song that you like that you could perhaps like a project into your genre?
I would pay money.
Would be cool to make some traditional, like really old school traditional stuff, but I don't know. But go ahead, Nick.
We got 80 pops too, you know.
Yeah, so do we. And it's weird.
It would be worth money to hear Yuka sing Hips Don't Lie.
Would be awesome. And they don't lie.
But do you have any song in mind or anything that you like it, like from Latin covers?
Think about it. I don't know.
Yeah, have to think about it. Some Mexican mariachi band, mariachi bands, metal work.
Yeah, like I think like really like old school stuff would be awesome, like traditional stuff. To make kind of like a metal version out of it would be just really interesting. Like see how it turns out.
Yeah, I think it's not a Mexican thing, but I loved Moonspell, the band from Portugal. They covered this one song from, I think it was maybe a Brazilian band, and singing in my Portuguese is really bad, so I really don't remember the band name and I don't remember the song name, but I just loved that song. And then Jorge, our friend and sound guy, he played me the actual South American version of that song, which was a pop song, and it was something completely different than the Moonspell song. So that was a really cool way to do it. There was some platinum selling South American artist pop song, like a metal version. So it's doable.
Yeah, but in general, like this kind of like something that is completely different from our own genre would be really interesting to cover. You can throw some ideas, guys, if you like.
Awesome. Yeah, I believe they're gonna be taking that task seriously. Just let me translate that a little bit. Sí, estamos interesados en géneros, hacer un cover tal vez de géneros un poco más tradicionales, no hemos escuchado mucho. Hay una canción portuguesa que nos llama mucho la atención, no recuerdo el grupo Mundo, no recuerdo muy bien el nombre de la canción, pero como Jorge nos presentó la canción, hemos estado emocionados acerca de ella, tal vez podría ser una opción. Pero algo más tradicional, algo que se aleje tal vez a nuestro estilo, tal vez esa sería la indicada para poder jugar y hacer algo con él. Excellent, guys. Do we have
Gracias.
any other question?
Vamos a terminar con Cultura Rock Magazine. Por favor.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Soy Racroel de Cultura Rock Magazine. La pregunta es para Marcus. ¿Sí me escuchan?
Fuerte, claro.
Yes, yes.
Ok, para Marcus, ¿qué es lo más complicado al hacer una gira con dos bandas en el mismo año? Sobre todo en el concepto de conectar y desconectar los estilos de cada una. En el caso de Insomnium, y que este año tiene gira con ellos y también con OMNIUM. ¿Cómo lo maneja? ¿Qué es lo que más se le dificulta? ¿Qué es lo que más le gusta al experimentar en estos dos grupos?
Excellent. Well, this question is directed to Marcus, especially, and is what is the most complicated that you have been experienced organizing two bands and two tours with them on this year? As we know, you're going to be touring with Insomnium this year and with Gathering. So what is been the most experience or more complicated things that you have been dealing with?
With two bands, it sounds it would be easy. I think I have four, 4 or 50 trying to do something, but yeah, it's nothing is impossible if you want to do it. If there's a will, there's a way, and I love to do it, and this is my work and living and love. So of course it's not ever easy, but it's doable. I think the most hardest part will be again like the North American tour, which is the both bands, OMNIUM GATHERUM and Insomnium. 1 month tour, both bands playing in the same night. So I'm gonna be wreck, but I will love it. Be with all the best friends in the same bus. So that's cool. And musical wise, it's of course scheduling is sometimes, or finding time is hard. The hardest part, find time to compose music nowadays, because all the bands are touring after pandemic. But like I said, but always the writing of music, it's then when you know this is gonna be for this band, and this in my mind, for example, Insomnium and OMNIUM GATHERUM, they are completely different kind of music, and I always know what riffs goes to where, and I like to work more like a state of mind that now I'm writing for OMNIUM GATHERUM, and then another period now I'm writing for Insomnium, so it makes things way a lot easier if it would go that way. Sometimes everything is messed up, the mixing, and then like I said, I worship chaos, and then the chaos settles, and then there's nice and easy.
Perfecto, me that quickly. Pues nada es imposible si te gusta, creo que todo ha corrido muy bien y ha atravesado muy bien. El único problema yo creo que han sido horarios, tal vez encontrar el tiempo, ¿no? Para los dos. Pero pues sabes a lo que te atienes, ¿no? Vas con una banda, luego vas con otra, sabes perfectamente cuáles son las situaciones que vienen. Sabes, ¿no? Que va a ser un poco estresante tal vez el tiempo que va a ser que está apretado. Pero te pones en un estado mental en el que es un estado mental que tuve con Gathering, y también lo intento proyectar con Delirium, y sería que estar concentrado haciendo lo que nos gusta. Excellent, guys. Yeah, I don't know if there's any other question around, Jorge.
No, ya terminamos con esto. Muchísimas gracias a todos los medios
Excellent.
que estuvieron aquí. Pueden hacer sus notas a partir de las preguntas que surgieron. De todos modos, yo les voy a pasar esta grabación por si quieren ustedes hacer algún corte, utilizar algo en sus redes sociales. Les agradezco muchísimo a todos por estar acá y pues Nos despedimos. Nada más le pido a la banda si se queda al final. Ok, sería todo. Andrés, ¿puedes decirles que se queden al final?
Sure. Well, we want to thank you to everyone. You have been great. And yeah, just can you state at the last the band? Just we need to puntualize some other things. And yeah, thank you everyone for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. Gracias, and see you soon.
Yes, see you on the shows.
Gracias a todos por estar acá.
Gracias, hasta luego.
Muchas gracias. Se
luego.
les espera aquí en México.
Gracias.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Looking
guys. See you
forward.
soon.
Yes.
See you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. See you soon in Aguascalientes.
Yeah. See you soon. See rock.
Okay. Still people here. Wait.
Yeah!